Hey guys, been a long time since I recorded a video, but today I just really wanted to go over something before I ship something back. Um, so unfortunately I bought a fake, a bootleg cart of Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap, and it's pretty obvious that it's a bootleg. I accidentally bought this off eBay, tried to return it immediately, but that's a whole nother story. So as you can see, it's pretty fake, you know, like when you put it into any Game Boy Advance system, it doesn't flush all nice and neat like with the end of the system. Basically, it hangs out a tiny bit. The logo up here is different. The biggest indicator for me is I have the light on my phone, but don't you see that the legend of is completely blurry? Yeah, I doubt Nintendo would have been okay with this poor sticker job. And there's another thing that you need to look out for to figure out if your Game Boy Advance game is fake or not. Um, is there's no imprint numbers here. There should be two numbers slightly imprinted. We should definitely be able to see them here, especially with this light turned on. But there's nothing there. Now I have seen one legit Game Boy Advance game. It was Spyro something. It was a Spyro game, and it did not have the imprint numbers. But I actually had the box for that game. It's over there, so I know it's real. But every single other one of my games has that imprint number, and there's just so many more indicators other than those two little numbers that lets me know that it is a fake Game Boy Advance game. Now, also the Nintendo logo on the back is a little weird. Now it does actually load in a Game Boy Advance SP. Well, actually, I didn't test an SP, but it definitely loads in the Game Boy Micro, which leads me to believe it should load in the Game Boy SP no problem, as well as a regular Game Boy Advance. So the reason for this video is I was wanting to know if it would work in the GameCube player. So you see here I have the disc. You have to have the disc in order to use the Game Boy player. And the Game Boy player is already currently attached to the bottom of my GameCube. So I've already received a refund for this game and going to be able to ship this back. Highly suggest you not purchase a bootleg game to begin with if you know at all. Definitely, if you're buying any Game Boy Advance game on the internet, double, triple, quadruple make sure that it's real. Ask for very close screenshots, or not screenshots, very close pictures of the games, of the actual cartridge. The fact that if it works or not is not the point. People make reproduction games all the time, and they can work in the system. For example, I have a Mega EverDrive here. This is not something Sega approved. I actually created the case for this using a billiards game, and I spray painted it red and yada yada yada. I can go over this on a later video, and I did all that carving myself to get those ports ready. But this works in a Sega Genesis, okay? And it was not made by Sega. This was made by a guy in the Ukraine, Crix. It was made by a guy in Ukraine, but it works in there. That is not the point. The point is it's a bootleg, it's a reproduction game, and reproduction games are fine as long as you know you're buying a reproduction game. So I'll just get to the point of the video. So I have this all hooked up, and I'm just going to go ahead and put in the Game Boy Advance, or the GameCube Game Boy Player disc into the system. And I have not tested this yet, so I don't know if this is going to work or not. I believe it could work. I believe it could work. I think there's a 70% chance it's going to work. Now, I don't know. Actually, I think it's a 50-50. So let's go ahead and pop that in. So you can see there, you can already tell it's fake right there. You see that? That's supposed to be completely in. It's slightly flushed out. So, alright, so it's in. Let's turn on the system. Wow. Okay, it works. so it does work. Okay, so now you know that a bootleg Game Boy Advance game will most likely work on the GameCube with the Game Boy Player attachment and the Game Boy disc. I'm a little surprised here. Okay, so that was my save file I created originally. This is the one that was actually on the cart to test that it works. Okay, so that's another example. If somebody has that file, just to test that it works, chances are that test was done in Japan or China. Not by Nintendo, but by people reproducing this game. Also, a big indicator is these little cases. These never came with any Game Boy Advance game, ever. Okay? They only come with the reproductions. And so the two reproductions you have to watch out for is the main ones are the Minish Cap, I've now found out, and pretty much any Game Boy Advance game that's Pokemon related. And there's some others as well. There's fake games. But I mean, if you're not a collector and you don't care about the possibility of the game not working in the future, which that's my main worry, basically. I am a collector, but my main worry is it's not going to work in the future. Also, my worry was that it wasn't going to work with this, but apparently it does. So, it works. I don't really know how it works, but it works. Because you would think that the GameCube player... okay, I think this is being emulated somehow. You would think one of the first things it would check for is to see that it's the real thing, but maybe it doesn't. I'm curious, let me know in the comments, you know, if like for example, the Mother 3 game, okay, that's a very popular reproduction game, you know, with the fan translation, and that's clearly stated it's a reproduction. I think that might actually work in this system. Maybe it won't because it never came out to the United States, because I'm sure this was ripped from an actual Minish Cap cartridge. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Yeah, definitely let me know if that works, because that'd be very interesting. But, yep, that was the whole video, just to see if this would work, and it does. And I'll make another video very quickly to pretty much talk about, I'm going to actually do a full kind of man cave tour here, just a brief tour. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll probably post these videos close to the same time, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it.